welcome to the client-requested monthly update of what is happening at Creative Wealth Management, both with the firm and with everyone here. So I'd like to welcome Jordan Talbert, Vice President and Lead Financial Planner. Thank you for joining. And Tristan Jacoby, President and Head of everything at Creative Wealth Management. Welcome, guys. So as I said, we are switching up from our weekly updates where we've tried to get this information in and out to you guys, along with market updates, really based on the feedback from you, because we constantly get questions of what's happening at Creative Wealth, what's going on with Jordan, what's going on with Tristan, what's going on with the kids. So then we thought that this would be a fun way to bring that to you. So really, we hope you enjoy it. So what is going on at Creative Wealth Management and your lives? I'm just getting back from a week-long camp for a youth group at our church. We went up to Pennsylvania to a resort called Refreshing Mountain, which is awesome. It's got cabins, rock walls, zip lines, trails, lots of mountainous terrain that we're not used to in Delaware, and just had an awesome time. Our youth and our students are incredible, and our student leaders are incredible, and it was just an awesome time. A lot of kids after Jesus and incredible leaders, and they had the opportunity to do that along with get away, have a ton of fun. So I'm jazzed up, even though I haven't slept much. It was an awesome week. Now, I'm saying I haven't slept much, but the man to my left here has definitely not slept much. So give us an update on what's happening with all things Ben.
Ben is in good shape. Ben started crawling last weekend officially. Just about every cabinet in the house has been opened up since. And so we've been trying to baby-proof everything and make sure he doesn't squirm off. He's not moving as quickly on his hands and knees as, sometimes you watch a kid zooming around. So he's still caterpillar speed, but it was a big step. It was exciting last weekend, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I sent that video. I showed Mandy right away.
But happy, healthy, moving around now, making progress. Big fella, he's in the 90th percentile for weight, 70-something percentile for length. So doing good, keeping us busy. He's got to work on the sleeping thing. That's he has not figured that out yet. To sleep through the whole night, but we'll get there.
The next one will sleep through the whole night.
Yeah. Well,
are you ready for the next one?
Once he starts sleeping through the whole night, maybe. So. Which could come every, any day now at this point.
Good. You guys also had a very exciting week in the house, Tuesday night. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
So Tuesday night, our house was struck by lightning during a big storm that rolled through. It sounded like a missile hit the house between 11:30 and midnight. Whole house shook. And no fire or anything, fortunately, but woke up in the morning, assessed the damage. Roof got beat up a little bit. About half the appliances fried. Fortunately everybody's in good shape. Nothing happened too significantly and kind of starting to pick up the pieces now, but, certainly not fun and not something I would ever expect to have to deal with at all. Is wake up, walked outside in the morning and cause the lightning struck in the front of the house above the front porch. I saw the one overhead light had blown through and then, I saw a shingle just on the ground. I was like, this day's going to look a little bit different than I anticipated, for sure. But we're all in good shape, so that's all, all the stuff can get replaced and fixed.
Good.
So.
And how's Marissa?
A little rattled at first, but she's good. Other than that, she's busy with mom life and, working hard at the same time. So, every day is full and packed, but nothing we can truly complain about. All good problems.
Good. She's loving the mom life.
Oh, yeah. She's locked in. She does a fantastic job.
Now, who will spoil Ben more, you or Marissa?
That's a good question. Probably me on the one-offs, but her on a more consistent basis, if that makes sense, with like the little things over and over. Because if I see a cool toy at the store, I'm getting that cool toy for him. Even if he's not ready for it, I got him a cool Batman monster truck a couple weeks ago. He's more interested in the bag that it came in than the monster truck. But at some point, he's going to be like, this is awesome. So, as he gets older and those things get bigger, I think I'll be the one
And Jordan, you had a big event here recently. You and Johnny purchased a nice piece of land.
We did, yeah. So we purchased a 6-acre property down in Snow Hill, Maryland. So that's been our new adventure, getting all that. It's just vacant lot at the moment. So the next steps are finalizing the builder and talking with them and starting that process. And so we hope to be all moved in and good to go in about a year time frame.
Awesome.
So lots to do there, but it's a interesting adventure to take on.
Have you narrowed down the builder?
We have not yet. We're talking to, we want to talk to at least one more person, but there's somebody we have in mind currently, and they've been excellent so far to work with. So, and they know what they're doing. They've done, a ton of places around that area. So that's what we're looking for right now. It's just somebody that we can feel we work with well through that process. But yeah, so we might talk to one more other and then finalize it.
Awesome. So do you have house plans, or you just have a general idea of the house you want to build?
Right now we have a floor plan that we like. So ultimately we like the open concept. So think of like the new barn dominiums that everyone's raving about, right? So living room, kitchen area is your center of the house. And then you have your bedrooms on the sides. So that's what we are looking at. Our setup, the specific things that we're looking for is to open up the wall to the back of the house. So that's where we'll be able to look out towards the wooded area that we have. So it's 4 acres of open field and then 2 acres of woods. So, and that the open field backs up to the woods. So we want to be able to look out to the back and see, whatever is going on in there, which
right.
Since we've looked at the property, every time you go there, I think almost 100% of the time there's been turkeys in the field. There's been deer, there's quail, which if you're unfamiliar, that's a pretty just overall like great bird to have on your property, because it's people look at it as just elevated. We were told that by our realtor. If we told them there was quail on the property, the price goes up by $25,000. So they're heavily protected birds, and back in the day they were hunted almost to extinction. But
they just up and disappeared one day, because we used to hunt quail all the time. That's one of the most fun hunts with a dog that's really good at finding them and pointing.
Yeah. Johnny wants to get a hound or whatever the dogs are for that, and I told him no.
Bird dog, I think a Vizsla.
There's a few.
Yeah.
That will do it.
Yeah.
Definitely not a hound dog
yeah.
On there. But they just, between development, between the foxes, and they just got really down to extinction. It's been years since I've seen a covey of quail anywhere. And they were so popular, you didn't even need a dog. So populated, you didn't need a dog to hunt. We used to just beat the ditchbacks and you could raise a covey of quail.
Yeah.
So on the house plans, is there anything that Johnny really wants and anything you really want? And do they conflict? Has there been compromise?
Yeah, sort of. So I want a house with, at minimum, 3-bedroom, 2 baths. Johnny wants a shop. So this man could live on the floor, right? Like, he doesn't need a bedroom or want a bedroom as long as he has his shop. So that's the conflict at the moment. And so we're trying to figure out plans to make sure that we get both. But we have had conversations about maybe delaying the shop build a little bit.
I'm going to wager that you'll win on that.
Yeah.
I don't see any way.
Yeah. We need a place to sleep.
It's true.
You do.
Yeah.
And you can always add on to the shop. Sorry, Johnny.
Yeah.
Either separate or attached to the dwelling.
Yeah. I think at this point we want unattached. So we have, at this point, Johnny has 3 boats, I think. So we want to be able to put, a big enough shop to put them in it. And then, he has all of his hunting stuff and everything like that would go in there ideally. And so he just wants enough room for all of that.
Right.
It's sort of like a man cave for all of his toys. So
The guy's dream.
exactly. So that's the one thing we've been talking about, but we're pretty good about compromising for the most part. I would say I'm not very particular about what I want And I mean that by like, I've been asked this a lot by the builders we're talking about is they ask me like, what are your designs? Like, how do you want everything to look up, this and that? I'm like, I don't really have a strong opinion about any of that. I have a general idea of a theme, beachy and marshy looking, but I'm not a very picky person myself. So I'm kind of like, give me a few options and I'll choose one and I'll be happy with it.
It's hard to know until you get in there and you
Yeah.
live it.
Yeah.
Figure out
Yeah, exactly.
the little nuances of what you like and don't like.
And I've never really owned something all on my own, right? So I've been living at my parents' beach house. So those are all their things in the house, and they got to style it the way they want it looked. And so I never have given any input on any of that or had something it would be my decision to make. So yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of things I didn't realize I was not going to be prepared for in this process, but just rolling with it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's exciting.
Landon and Addie. Landon's going into high school next year, which is insane. So for some of our clients and families that have been with me forever, before even he was born, yeah, he's going into high school, which is a big step. And that time goes fast. I know you're hearing that all the time right now. Enjoy it. The time goes fast. It does.
It's crazy seeing him now. He's tall and looks like a young man now.
He is. It's insane. And Addie's going to middle school, which at this camp last week was the first time I've had them both at a youth group camp, which was awesome. I was getting made fun of because I want to say treat Landon and Addie different. Like my goal is to raise them up the best way I can to prepare them for life. But when my Addie girl needs something, that's my baby girl. Looking after her. And she's more affectionate. Landon's in that teen mode. He's like, yeah, Dad, I get the one-word answers. Yeah. Addie, every chance she get, would run over and give me a hug and say, how are you doing, Dad? You good? Do you need anything? So just love them both to death. And to watch them out on their own and interact and do things was just a privilege. It was awesome. And I think I told you guys, one of the nights, Landon came over and prayed over Addie, and it was just a special moment. It was the waterworks were flying during that one. So, and then other updates on them. Addie's going to middle school. She's wrapping up swim season for the summer. She's got, I guess what they call states, the championships this weekend. They're actually having it at Salisbury University, even though it's for Delaware. Eastern Shore, I should say. Teams. I don't know. That's a Mandy question. But anyway, she's qualified in 3 strokes, so I'm looking forward to that. This weekend.
We were saying, not to interrupt, but you were saying she beat some of the boys in a race recently?
Yeah, so we had a meet where there was a lot in her age group, so they combined heats with the boys, and she smoked them.
Yeah.
So awesome. I love to watch her swim. And she raced a couple of leaders up this weekend at the camp in the pool and was dusting them. So it was fun. Of course, they don't know how to do the butterfly or backstroke well like she does, but even the freestyle, she was crushing them. So it was fun to watch, and she enjoys it. Landon, we wrapped up our first travel season with lacrosse. It's our first venture into that. That was a ton of fun. It is a lot. Every weekend for quite a few weekends, but to watch him play and enjoy the sport that he loves, it was pretty cool. And he enjoyed it playing. So he's got a big tournament coming up next week in Ocean City, and it's like they're calling it the high school JV team. So I'll have incoming 10th graders, incoming 9th graders, and some very talented incoming 8th graders on this team. And it's going to be awesome to watch. There's some superstars on that team. So it'll be good high-level lacrosse in Ocean City for that. So, and as you know, he's working his first official full-time job.
Yeah. Working man.
Which is great. He came to me and said, when I can work, I want to work at Jolly Roger, which is an awesome idea, but the boy does not have a license yet, and we're not driving down there. So we want him close by, work and logistically, something that he could go to and we could get him to easily and pick him up from, but I also wanted him working hard, outdoors, learning the value of $1, and being around people that I trusted. And so he's working for PT Marine, which Paul Turner owns that company, and is just an awesome guy. He's a friend. He's been a client for a long time. And I know he's in good hands there. He's going to make him work hard, not cut him any slack,
Yep.
be very disciplined with him, but also a good environment and good men. His crew that he has there is amazing. His right-hand man, I actually had in youth group about 2 decades ago.
Date yourself
my
here,
gosh.
man.
But through some coincidence and things like that, I was able to hook those two up like 8 years ago, and it's been a great relationship. So I know everybody that's there at the shop, and I trust it. So Landon's having a good time.
Yeah,
And,
now he's beating you at golf too. Don't forget to tell everybody that.
Yeah, he's really gotten into golf here recently and wants to play every night or hit the range. And I had a really good round the other day, like a record round, and he beat me.
Yeah.
So Tristan's tied up this weekend. We had the member tournament, in-laws in town and band and everything going on. So Landon's filling Tristan's shoes, and we get to play our first golf tournament together, which will be awesome. So we got home from camp last night at 5:30, and he's like, "Dad, let's go play." I was like, "Buddy, I've got to unpack. I've just had this week. I want to see your mom." He's like, "All right, I'll go to the range." So, okay. So,
Could you imagine having that much energy? Get him from that camp and hey, you can go play 18.
that would be great. That would be great. So that's what's going on with the kids. Mandy is doing great. I get asked all the time, when does she go back? But she's a 12-month employee at Worcester Prep. A little bit different schedule, but she's doing awesome too. Her and I are headed out next week down to our Florida office. It's our husband and wife vacation. Unfortunately for her, I'll be doing a little bit of work, but we'll get a chance to get away. The kids are staying up here, and she'll get to meet our families down there. I think we're set up with either lunch or dinner at clients' houses all week, which is awesome. As you know, we love doing life with our clients, and it's an honor for us to know when we're down there, they want to see us, they want to meet our families and have us into their homes to share a meal. So I love that. Love that.
Some of our best experiences really, specifically of the last 2 years have been all of these kind of one-off times with clients where we're not in the office with them. We're just hanging out and just spending time. I mean, it makes coming in to do the work that much easier because, the last time you were with, X, Y, or Z client, you had a good time, relaxed, and enjoyed them, and you know what's going on, all the intricacies of their life, which I always say makes us so much better at our job because you've got to understand every nuance, every piece of context if we're going to be able to give the best possible recommendation for whatever the situation, whether it's big or small on that side. So, yeah.
100%. From a business or profession standpoint, you are absolutely correct. It gives us that context to make the correct recommendation. Something may look great on paper, but it doesn't make sense for family dynamic or what their goals truly are. And so from that aspect, yes. And then from the personal aspect, I love our clients. I love spending time with them, learning about the things that we're planning for and seeing it develop in action in person. And then all of that work come to fruition on what their goals were, and they get to realize it. It's cool to get to do life with them, for sure.
Absolutely. And then we've been busy the last few weeks as well. Was it March we repartnered with FIG?
Yeah.
And they've been just an absolutely amazing resource for us and our clients, and just the spiderweb of connections they have outside of the typical ball game they play has been incredible. Whether it's extensive annuity analysis, insurance analysis, to resources for our business owner clients, to resources for business owner clients going through complex tax situations, you name it. They've put us in touch with the right people that they trust, that we trust, that know how to communicate with clients and know how to get the job done, which has made things busy for us over the last few weeks, right? But all good things that they're bringing to our attention. They scour everything. They don't like anything to slip through the cracks. And, I can sleep better at night knowing, hey, we've got, just another set of tools here, another set of resources to help close every potential gap that, we may not even know exists.
Yeah, that's been a great partnership. And, you hear us say FIG, it's Financial Independence Group. And, we met them. Nick Ross is one of the partners there. And obviously you guys know, and some of our clients know, I've had a relationship with him going on since I opened the firm and launched. And he was instrumental in helping us design the framework of this firm on how we wanted to structure, how we wanted to build, the services we wanted to offer, all along with what makes this job fulfilling. You know, what we just talked about in spending time with client families. He was a big part of the architecture of that. And then FIG had purchased his business consulting firm, in it, which we're utilizing as well. Those guys are up here
2 weeks.
2 weeks to take a look at everything, which is awesome. And again, that's a firm that doesn't look, okay, this works on paper. What works in real life? What are your passions for this firm? What struggles do you have? What things would you like improved? What things are working really well? And take a look at it from an overall perspective through our eyes, through our clients' eyes. And it's been great. The number one word I would describe the resources at that firm is proactive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They are not reactive at all.
Yeah.
Which is great because they're showing us things that weren't even on our radar before, and it's been a home run in all aspects that you described, especially in the business owner department.
Yeah.
I mean, the resources they have for our small business clients in this area is just it's out of this world.
Well, and also, you know, their mindset with how FIG operates and their resources and who they bring in to service those resources jives very well with our approach in that we're looking for practical solutions that make sense for people's real lives, right? Not the ones that just look pretty on paper or work best on paper. That booklet looks the best, so that's the route you need to take. Now, everybody at FIG is looking for a practical solution to whatever that client's situation is, right? What's going to make most sense given this person's day-to-day life, not the hypothetical, theoretical route that maybe looks prettiest, but what is the best route to take on there. And they do a great job too of, hey, they'll come to us with something and we give them the nuances and the context that they don't have on the client situation. And that partnership just allows us to get things done more efficiently and, you know, find that the best possible route for anybody, whether it's the annuity insurance business owner, you name it on there. So
absolutely. I've been asked, you know, how's everyone doing in the firm as well? I get asked about you. I get asked about Lexi, Tristan, Abby, interns, you name it. So let's give a kind of a brief overview of where everything stands. I know we often update of everyone's roles in the firm as they evolve, which this firm constantly grows, evolves, and adapts to client demands and client situations. I'll start with me. I'm not needed at all, which is a depressing thing, but also what we've been working towards. My role has significantly changed because of how awesome everyone is here, where I'm not in all at the day-to-day, very rarely in client meetings, and looking at kind of our top-level partnerships and direction of the firm and things like that, which has been awesome. You know, I would say occasionally I like to get back in the weeds, but I'm mostly just getting in the way of systems and processes when I do that. But it's been just an awesome experience watching everyone grow, develop into these roles that all of you are 1,000 times better at how I could do them and how I did them. So it's a privilege to serve you guys and watch that. And then I got an opportunity to sit in with Jordan on an appointment the other day, which was great. You've been here now two and a half, 3, not counting the interns.
Yeah, so full-time, two full years. 2
full years of grinding, and then 2 years before that in first an internship, and then part-time, which you could fit in while you were graduating from Salisbury University, which is awesome. And I came out of that appointment, went right to Tristan. I was like, wow, like, not that I didn't know you were incredibly talented, but it was awesome. I enjoyed being in there and watching you do your thing. It was awesome, especially in that next gen arena. So yeah. Tell us a little bit about how that section or aspect of working with the next gen client is different.
Yeah, so I would say it's working with your next generation of clients is different because they're at a different stage of life, right? So they're in that accumulation stage, right, of building up their assets. And a lot of them are just starting out their careers, just starting their families. So I've had a lot of fun doing that with them, is because I'm either, looking at what benefits you have at work and what makes sense and what doesn't, or we're talking about estate planning and getting, wills, power of attorneys, advanced healthcare directives in place because they've just had a baby, right? So they finally need something or have something that they need and want to protect. So those are all really fun questions and things that we work with the clients on, and I get to see them kind of move into those next steps in life. So I've seen with some of the clients, starting their first career, getting married, and having a baby. So I've been there for it all, and that's what's fun. And what you were talking about earlier is being able to be a part of their life and see them grow with you as well, and the things that you work on and then come to fruition, like you said. And being able to see it from start to finish it's a fulfilling part of this job for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. And, they're also purchasing their first home.
Yes.
Structuring that. And that's a critical role, because a lot of these next generation clients are either kids or grandkids of most of our clients. And so not only is it getting them started on the right path, building a solid foundation, but it's also educating them slow and steady and preparing them for when their grandparents pass away, their parents pass away, to inherit these assets. Yeah. They are leaps and bounds above the normal person inheriting assets of like, oh my gosh, what do I do now?
So like you said earlier, that proactive stance, I think that's the value, is being able to work with us and be ready for those, as opposed to taking what happens and reacting to it and okay, what do we do?
Right.
So that I enjoy a part of what we do here as well, is being able to take that proactive stance and be prepared for when XYZ scenario comes into play.
Well, and you hear it all the time from clients maybe in their 50s or 60s that are gearing up for retirement, and probably hear it at least once a week. Oh, I wish I'd started doing something with you guys or somebody similar in my 20s or in my 30s. Think about how far ahead I'd be. A lot of it is, it's not huge swings, right? You're coaching them on relatively simple habits and being able to handle things that might come out of left field, that will come out of left field for most people in their lives. And then those simple changes, those healthy habits compound over 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And all of a sudden, they're going to be leagues ahead of their counterparts at age 45, 50, 55, and 60 coming off. So just invaluable stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It makes me very excited to do that work.
Definitely. And then we have Tristan, who has stepped into the role of president of this firm really for the last couple of years, and running the day-to-day, the oversight, and meeting with essentially all of our clients on that. It's been a huge, huge role that you've done extremely well in. And both of you infinitely more talented than me in this. And tell us what that is like from the personal aspect of, now we're balancing a 9-month-old, lightning strikes to the house, and the responsibility of running this firm.
Yeah, no, it's all good problems to have. And the only way I've been able to grow and develop are the opportunities you give me, and then us having a fantastic team here, which has allowed me to focus on some of the higher level things that I need to focus on. There's no easy solution with balancing it with the home life. Try to make dedicated family time every day. Fortunately, his bedtime's fairly early still at this point, so I get home and get the family time in, hang out, bath time, and then things quiet down for a little bit so I can lock back in for a few hours. But as far as day-to-day, just being able to focus on, a lot of my time has been spent, I'd say, especially in 2026 with our business owner clients. This relationship with FIG has really aided that, in that it's allowed me to spend my time focusing on, okay, if we've got, every business owner is at a different stage, whether it's age or age of the company or their plans on exiting, or whether they have kids that they want to involve. Every situation is a little unique. But it allows me to really get in the nitty gritty with those clients and figure out, all right, what's the objective? What do we need to figure out first right, before we can start to make any types of decisions at all. And trying to get some people to understand that, hey, we need to start this process sooner rather than later. All right. Because if you know that your business needs to be worth X amount to sell and take that equity and get out of it and move into that retirement or whatever that stage of life looks like, well, what decisions do we need to start making now? How long do we have before we hit that target, right? Is that a feasible target to hit, or do we need to go another route and save more on the personal side for retirement, right? So I've been able to dive really into that arena with a lot of our top end clients this year, business owner clients. And that's been a lot of fun. And it's just watching them go through the process and them learning information as they go along and start to slowly put these puzzle pieces together on that side. And then, some of our other clients that are, more traditional retirement planning on going through, all the nuances there. And I learn something new every day. I like to consider myself young still. I'm only 30, so I'm still building up my own repertoire, but just a lot of fun I'm having with these clients and spending time. Like I said, the nuances and the context that you learn when you're not in the office, when you're not in the meeting, when you're at a shorebirds game or you're at dinner, you're at lunch with a client. Those are things that you take, and when you're going back behind the scenes to do that planning work, it does influence your thought process on what you're going to present, how you're going to present it, and trying to gauge, okay, is there any variables or any factors that are going to cause the client to react a certain way, right? And you got to weigh all the mathematical implications of everything we're calculating, and then you've got to weigh all those non-mathematical, right? The context clues that only you would know if you had spent the time with the client. So because the team has done such a fantastic job, whether it's Jordan, being our third advisor and doing a great job with the next gen, and then a ton of clients on top of the next gen as well. I mean, she works with just about everybody.
She does.
In some capacity. And then Lexi and Abby doing a fantastic job with everything behind the scenes. It's given me the comfort and the confidence to be able to go in and focus on what I need to focus on, which I think when I'm doing a good job, it helps everybody here push forward as well. So, It's easy because we have a great team. All right, that's the number one thing.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about Lexi and Abby here in a second in our intern program. But yeah, you brought up that topic. If a client calls in, any client, doesn't have to be next gen, to, one that's been with us for 15 years or 16 years, they're getting Jordan and you're solving that problem. I had to describe you are a problem solver. Instantly. So a lot of the things I'm just seeing on our CRM, just seeing the updates of it, and you've taken care of it all, which is awesome. And you are overseeing what Tristan was talking about in terms of the rest of our team, which is Abby and Lexi, and the intern program. So share a little bit about that process, them, and then any learning experience you've had on that.
Yeah. I think there's been a lot of growth for me over the past 2 years just because of them, really. I feel like I learn more from them than they know. But having trained Lexi and then Abby, learned a lot just of how to do that and the do's and don'ts, right? I think every day is, you're trying to figure that out, but it was a good experience. So Lexi came in, she was the first person I trained, and she came in and just kind of started with her and realized that she was, going to be capable of doing whatever I, needed and asked her to do. So having that as a resource was nice, because I felt like I was that person to you guys and still am, but so now I had someone that I could rely on. And then Abby comes into play, and she took on, Lexi's role kind of morphed more into what she's doing now with her, just coordinating with clients, doing social media, everything else she does behind the scenes. And so that morphed into that role, which then here comes Abby, So Abby came in from us. She actually, for anyone that doesn't know, she came from SEI. So she is also a PA transplant like myself. And so she moved down here to the shore, wanted to be closer to the beach, and contacted us, seeing if we had any open positions. We did at the time, and she came on and really alleviated me from some duties in order to then grow myself and take on some more clients as well. So training her, same thing, noticed from the jump. Basically, if I gave her something to do, I knew she would get it done and be able to take care of whatever, if there was questions or problems that had popped up. I'm very confident in her that she can handle it. So having that, again, is a great benefit. And then we have Michael this year as well. So Michael contacted us. He was looking for an internship this summer in really just the finance industry, I would say. For background on him, he's a senior at Dartmouth. Going into a senior year at Dartmouth. So smart kid.
Valedictorian.
But yeah, valedictorian and everything. So very, very intelligent. So we knew that off the bat. But the question we all had, I think, is, well, why are you coming to us, right? Why are you looking into this?
He's a physics major.
So I interviewed him. When I interviewed him, I was like, so tell me the why here. He kind of chuckled a little bit. He was expecting that question to be asked. And so he said something that I found myself saying actually before. He said, he can do the research, the math, whatever he's involved in, and was coming to find that just wasn't fulfilling him. And what he was missing is that client side, right? The interaction with humans. So he said he started looking into our industry and saw that there was some options there. And so he just wanted a shot with us to see if he liked it. And, he's been very good, very great with us so far and with our clients. He seems to be enjoying it. And I think our clients are enjoying meeting him as well. So a lot to discuss there, but I found that some of the things he was saying were things that I said when you asked me, what I want to get out of this or what I enjoy. And a lot of it had to do with I like being in the meetings with the clients and talking to them. That's what's most fulfilling. So that's where they're all at. And so I feel like I can say that's the team under me that makes sure, I know they can step up like they have this week and in the past to take care and handle anything while we're doing what we need to do to grow the business and service our existing clients. So
Great.
I miss anything there?
No, not at all. With our internship program, it's something that I've wanted to have and have had since the firm started. Salisbury has a requirement of a 10-week internship in their Franklin Purdue School of Business, and that's how we met you. And we've had many interns over the years. And my goal with that is not necessarily to recruit, it's to expose that intern to this industry. And there's many different ways to do things in this industry but expose them to how we do things. And if they like it, give them an avenue to explore that further. And if not, find the aspect of it they do like and point them in the right direction of a wirehouse or something like that, or investment banking. And then if they don't like it at all, okay, good, that's still success because they know they need to look at a different aspect altogether that may not have any client interaction at all. And that part has been great. And then what you said with, you mentioned it, when Lexi came on board, teaching her everything. And that's our philosophy here. Every time we hire, it's to expose them to every aspect of this firm. So they have a great understanding of how things operate and how critical every role is. And then if we do have a need in a certain area, to place them in that and allow them to develop that role kind of with some structure from us, but independently using their strengths and talents, because then they own it on that and they can be very efficient and excel in that. Or we discover a talent in them that we weren't even looking for or knew we needed until we were exposed to that. And Lexi's a perfect example of that with client engagement. We look at the term marketing, like what's your marketing budget? What do you do for marketing? That's a complex question, right? And I've always said that we want client engagement or quote unquote marketing or social media. We want relevant content to be able to get to our clients, not just, kind of spam advertising from that aspect. And Lexi has taken that whole arena and built it really from the ground up. On that. And it's been wonderful because we're able to get what we want to get out to clients based on what are they looking for in information for engagement and things of that nature. And that's been wonderful on that. And so people ask that, what who are you going to hire next or what position do you need next? Well, it depends. And I like the surprise of knowing, wow, they are incredibly talented in this arena. Let's explore that. Do we want to devote resources to it? What would it add to the firm, to the client experience? And that's been a home run. And then, you mentioned with Abby, she came from SEI, from the corporate environment. And a lot of strengths are built in that corporate environment, in the small business environment, in our team environment. Some of those things are different from aspect in terms of a lot of independence.
Right.
On that. So Abby's incredibly talented. And then I think once she was in that environment long enough and away from that corporate type environment, she really started to thrive. She is a problem solver as well. I was not recently, but when we were making that transition, I would go out and follow up and be like, hey, are we still working? And it's been done for 2 weeks. Yeah. Because she just got it done. And she can solve any problem out there as well.
And with, adding any member to the team at any point, I mean, we'll take somebody that's talented, works hard, and is that problem solver, and we'll figure out exactly how they're going to plug in. Because if they're a talented problem solver, they're going to find a way to make this team better, right? And probably not anywhere near the what we would intentionally or originally think they'd be fit for on that side. Like you said, Lexi, the client engagement and the social media. I mean, the social media is just one small component of the value that she's added to us as a group. I mean, our client events, all of the small nitty gritty details being ironed out to making sure that event is welcoming, perfect, and relaxing, all planned out in advance, well above what me or you could ever do with planning those types of events. And then, whether it's scheduling with clients, just every small nitty gritty detail, we don't have to go to Lexi. We don't have to go to Abby. We don't have to go to anybody here and say, hey, how are you looking to improve one of these aspects you're doing? They're already working on it, right? They're already looking to make it better, which is why I think, we've always been big on delivering a great client experience, but over the last few years, really taken a massive step forward in that is because every single person here is looking for a way to improve their bubble of what they're working on for that client. And it's very evident to whoever walks in the door. And we're going to continue to do that. And I think that's the mindset everybody has here is how do we improve that client experience from the second they walk in the door, from the second they call in, from the second they arrive to get dinner with us, or the second they get to our Shorebirds game, from the second they open a statement, right? How do we improve every single little category there? So, whether somebody's a physics major or a culinary major, if they come and they've got all of these tools naturally within them, we're going to find a spot for them to add value. I think that's just what we look for. And that's what Michael excites me as well, because he asks very intelligent, relevant questions post-meeting, if he's sitting with a meeting, questions you wouldn't expect a 20-year-old to ask about the financial industry or about the situation. He does a great job communicating with clients, whether it's a client event or if he's talking with a client before we get in there. He naturally does well communicating and is excited about all of it. So he's been great to have. And I'm looking forward to, what his route ends up being for sure.
Awesome. Well, that kind of takes us into our last update or questions we've received, and that's the Florida office, which is just gone incredible. For those of you that don't know, we opened the Florida office, and that came out of some of our clients moving down to that Punta Gorda area from up here, us going down and helping plan with the real estate, with any type of financing down there and all of that to get them settled, to some of those clients transitioning to full time. So we were going down there for reviews that turned into us staying with them or meeting our families down there. And was down there for 3 weeks, just about all of January this year. And so got into a good routine and just started meeting all of these incredible people. And our clients had referred us and said, like, hey, you've got to meet with these guys. You want to meet Hal, you want to meet the team. And when I came back from that, I sat down with Tristan and I said, hey, what do you think about opening an office down there? I think there's the client demand. I love the area. We don't want to do it just because, hey, we want to raise revenue. We want to do it because the demand is there. We enjoy the people down there. And we think we can make an impact in our profession for what we do in making their lives better and also make an impact in that community. And it checked off all those boxes. So we launched, we went through the numbers. We set the situation up. So we had some executive office space where I could go down and as needed, and as well as on a regimented schedule, 2 weeks per quarter. And then as a one-off, if a client needs to meet, or a new client wants to meet, to go down there. So that has been great. Our plan from the start was to reevaluate in January and see, okay, we need bigger office space. We need a full-time staff. We need an advisor down there. And that's what we're beginning to look at for that. But with all that discussion we just had about our team here, even though that timetable is in place, it's not set in stone.
Right.
It is so important for us to have quality people that represent our firm with clients down there. So we're not just going to hire just to hire and have a bot.
Right.
We want someone that matches our values, our work ethic, and our care and attention that we put into everything that we do with our client families. Yeah. So our plan is for that to develop in that timetable. But if it doesn't, that's okay. I want to do it where we have the people we trust and have the ability.
Well, and that are going to deliver the same type of client experience up here that, the clients that we've onboarded down since opening Florida have all been amazed at. That's the biggest difference is the client experience we attempt to deliver, the effort, the attention to detail on there. And there's tons of firms in Florida, right? Big retiree state. There's no secret. There's tons of planning firms, investment firms, insurance firms down there. But simply put, they don't operate the way we do. And it's very evident from the get-go, from that first conversation with the client.
I've been shocked at the lack of attention to detail and service from what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
It is, but and that maybe is unfortunately the standard out there. It's not the standard with which we operate within here. And that's, I think another reason why I'm comfortable, you're comfortable, and everybody's excited about the second office is because we're not just the same old shop setting up in town, the same old mill. We're coming in, we're going to deliver, what we feel we do best, and that's, serve families as that personal CFO in the true role. And that's just not something people are accustomed to. Maybe a lot of those firms down there are maybe a bit archaic in the way they're thinking on that side, but there's a giant opportunity to help out a ton of people in an area that you love too. So it's a win-win.
It is.
It's a win-win.
Everyone's so friendly and kind and welcoming down there. I love it. And the weather is amazing. We'll be down there next week. It's a little hot in the summer, but there's not that much difference than the humidity up here.
Yeah, it's hot everywhere. It's still hot. So,
kind of to wrap that up, we are on target for that, but we are not going to force warm bodies in that office that we feel do not meet our standard at all that we wanted to deliver to clients. Yeah. And so we will continue to develop that. And when those right people are available, present themselves, and we are 100% sure on them, and we will implement. And that could be before January.
Well, and what's fortunate now, and just the year which we live in, is that we can go down and meet, but a lot of the work we can still do up here and communicate effectively. Zoom, conference calls, whatever it is, email. We're setting up that client office because we enjoy meeting with people face to face. That's us personally, but we can do everything behind the scenes, and we've got such an amazing team that's used to that flow of information coming in electronically and, the very secure methods we have to get the job done and still deliver that that type of service. So, that's why we don't also have to rush getting bodies down there, is because, we've got, clients all across the country. We're used to this. Right?
Correct. That's a great point, Tristan, is that we're still delivering, even in current setup, what meets our standard. Get we let out the door here.
Exactly.
So, well, excellent. Anything else you want to add on our first monthly update?
No, we covered quite a bit. I think maybe next go around we'll get into a little bit of market stuff and maybe some planning specific topics. Hopefully none of us get struck by lightning or any other natural disasters between now and the next one, but we'll see what life has for us in between that. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today. If there's something you want us to discuss, talk about, or questions that you have, reach out to us, send an email, call in and say, hey, I want to hear a discussion on this. We'd be happy to talk about it. Until next month.